Alaikuba. Today we're in the beautiful indigenous community of Santa Attire Mission, Region 3, where we meet a very passionate designer of traditional indigenous attire, Sharon de Freitas.
Indigenous people from around the globe have always made clothing from the materials provided by the natural environment. However, with modernization, they have moved away from traditional attire and opted to wear more contemporary clothing. Sharon de Freitas is one of a few remaining designers of traditional indigenous attire in Guyana, which makes her instrumental in the preservation of this skill and ensuring that this skill is preserved. Sharon became a resident of Santa Attire about 33 years ago when she got married and came to join her husband. Already practiced in craft, she quickly learned the art of designing traditional indigenous wear from her mother-in-law and sister-in-law.
I was only involved in gathering the materials and assisting the person that was, doing the actual costume then. So from then I gained a little insight as to say, I can do it, because I was involved in the craft work already. But I had always wanted to do something different from the crafters.
Sharon explains that making the traditional indigenous attire takes time and starts with gathering the materials.
I go with my husband, I go with my sons when we go to do the wood cutting, and I would go with them and I would walk in the jungle, and even if it's one parrot feather fall to the ground, I would pick it up. So the gathering of the materials would take time. You look at them to see their beauty, and you would think up, well, okay, if I pick up so much, I'm going to do what I'm going to do with it. That is gathering the lucky seeds and other seeds also. I don't even leave out one feather because I know that it is a natural bird feather. And when we use it, you would see the sheen in front, the sheen at the back of this feather, different from the synthetic feathers.
Apart from the seeds and feathers, the ite palm and animal hides are important components of the traditional indigenous attire.
The men folks would gather the ite spire for us, and we would happily strip that and get our materials going. So the skin, the hunters in the community, when they shoot whatever, those who would want to preserve the skin would preserve it. And I would go there and say, well, here, I hear you got so, sell me it.
After the materials are gathered and processed, the designer will intricately join the pieces together using different sewing techniques and with different themes in mind.
Right now, I'm having my second daughter. She's following that. Gradually, she's picking up to follow that. So I'm happy to know, well, if she can carry it forward, to have the patience. It's the patience to do these things. The stitches, the beadworks, the skin works, all takes patience and time because we want to rough it up. We want when we're done, we think it's a big mess and we feel unhappy that it didn't do good. Making a costume would take us sometimes 2 weeks to finish one costume. And because of that, our crafters would not want to get involved doing a piece of craft for 2 weeks, going into 3 weeks, even a month. Because making costume now, we would say the bra, the bottom, the headpiece, the armbands, all these will have to complete.
For many years, Mrs. de Freitas has been designing costumes for the representatives of this region as they participate at the National Indigenous Pageant in Georgetown.
When we do these works and it goes to the National Cultural Center, that is where it is showcased. That is why I try to do my best in every piece of work that I do, because I know when it goes there, that is the biggest stage of all, to showcase this piece of craft work. And if our girls, they're so well trained in displaying it, other queens go there also and have a look.
Mrs. de Freitas is also very confident that the tradition of designing indigenous attire will not die because she makes a lot of effort to teach the skill to the younger generation.
I would not be here forever, but sometime one of my children, my grandchildren, would be able to take it up. Because when I make a costume, I do not sit alone and make that costume. I include all of my children. So when I make a piece of costume, it is not me alone. It involves my entire family. My husband would get involved in making the slippers. I have an artist in my family. If I have to draw something to just weave and stitch over it, I would call on her to do it for me. Sometimes I may say our culture is dying, but it is not dead yet. The final dust is not true. Because we still have like people like myself, I would say my sister-in-law, which she resides in Canada now, would still have that patience, that joy, that essence within this craft making to say, well, okay, show somebody else, pass it on to somebody else. So it is not really dying, but it's the youths now to say, well, okay, I want to do it. So with that, like, you know, I'm still happy to know that it could still go on. This is wonderful. I enjoy making a costume. I love making it because it's taking like dead things like these things here and putting beauty and life into it. Sometimes these costumes haunt me. If I'm working with the skin, the tiger skin, there was a time I was making my daughter, the second daughter, talent piece with the puma skin. There's the deer tiger, right? And this, it's like in my dream I see this tiger. I work with the snake skin, it's like in my dream I see the snake. You know, it brings a feelings to this costume. It brings back the spirit of the olden days. So what I do now for our queens is like when I'm making this costume, I have my paiwari and I would sprinkle it on the costume. I would say whatever ancestor spirit is there, when they come and they would not like want to bother you, do you anything wrong or make them upset in the spirit world is how I put it out, right? Spiritually, on a spiritual level. So that is why I enjoy making it, because I put my best into it, I feel it, so that when it is finished, if you put it on, you must feel it also when it goes around you. You must feel like, you know, you're wearing something special.
Well, I do hope that you have an enjoyable Indigenous Heritage Month. Reporting for InfoHub, Natasha Smith.